So, as we have already discussed, 55, we have got the antonym of intrinsic. 56, the synonym of inquisitive obviously is all of this, because you've got curious. To be inquisitive can mean curious. To be inquisitive means intrude. To be inquisitive, where you're agog means where you're so surprised that you just stare with you can say that you're just staring with a wide mouth open. Okay, so that's what is known as you're gaping at something, or you're just surprised. Now moving on to questions 57 to 60. The directions given are, in each of the question part, find out which part has an error. If there is no mistake, the answer is no error. Okay. Now question number 57. The poor, B, is oppressed, C, all around the world, no error. So if you join it together, combine it into a sentence, you get the poor is oppressed all around the world. And obviously there is no error there, so we can go for option P. Question number 58. Mohan and me are going to learn many tricks. Mohan and me are going to learn many tricks. Obviously, the error Mohan and me are going to learn many tricks. So obviously we can just ignore it. There is no serious error there. So we can just ignore it like that. And question number 59. We shan't invite them, won't we? We shan't invite them, won't we? So we shan't, when you expand it, it is we shall not. We shall not. We shall not invite them. So the error lies in C. It is not won't we, but shall we. We won't invite them. Shall we? Because shall we there acts as a question tag. Now question number 60. The USA is aiming at double its bilateral trade, with India by 2015, and D is no error. Okay, so let's see how to correct this one. Question number 60. The USA is aiming at double its bilateral trade. So the error obviously is aiming at can be doubling its bilateral trade. So the error lies in option B. Now moving on to the next one. Questions 61 to 64. In the following questions, the sentence given with blank to be filled with in an appropriate word. Select the correct alternative out of the 4 and indicate it by selecting the appropriate option. Question number 61. A leaderless police force dashed the path of least resistance since there was no one in authority to spur it on to action. A leaderless police force. 61, the correct option is B, took the path of least resistance since there was no one in authority to spur it to action. Question number 62. This has provided a ray of hope and there is no dread of data as far as cervical cancer and prevention are dash. The options given are concerned, forgotten, discernible, detectable. So obviously, the answer key is preferably forgotten. This has to provide a ray of hope, and there is no dread of data as far as cervical cancer and prevention are forgotten. Concerned is also correct. It's okay. So both, if you want, you can make a selection among the two. And concern also in some of the questions have been detected as well. Okay, question number 63. The program has dash a DNA-based HPV test and offered it for free to these women. So the program has dash a DNA-based HPV test and offered it for free to these women. Here, the correct options are: the program has deployed a DNA-based HPV test and offered it for free to these women. So the answer key is C. Question number 64. There were 4 instances when Delhi police gave short shrift to the laws of the land and indeed to the very constitution they are dashed to uphold. There were 4 instances when Delhi police gave short shrift to the laws of the land and indeed to the very constitution they are dashed to uphold. So here the answer key is they are sworn to uphold. So B becomes the right answer. They are sworn to uphold. Now question number 65 to 67. In these questions in the following passage, some of the words have been left out, and we are expected to read the passage carefully and choose the correct out of all alternatives. The passage starts with, for the rule of the law to be well dashed and enforced, we need to start. Sorry for that. For the rule of the law to be well dashed and enforced, we need to start at the very beginning, mobilizing our local communities. A strong mobilized civil society is a necessary condition to hold the state to account. It is not about one seemingly revolutionary protest, even if the well-meaning antagonist of the CAA believes so. When violence and lawlessness spill over into the street and begin to constrain our workaday lives, as it has across India, when the police are routinely challenged by those on the wrong side of the dash, when the police force is overworked and overwhelmed by political subterfuge, our society will be on the brink. As a society, we are currently engaged in a negative sum game. The rule of law cannot, unlike rights, be engineered. It can only be practiced if we understand the liberty has to be balanced with equality. Okay, I think there's a small technical error. I'll be back. So we are on question 65 to 67. For the rule of the law to be well dash and enforced, we need to start at the very beginning, mobilizing our local communities. A strong mobilized civil society is a necessary condition to hold the state to account. It is not about one seemingly revolutionary protest, even if the well-meaning antagonist of the CAA believes so. When violence and lawlessness spill over into the streets and begin to constrain our workaday lives, as it has across India, when the police are routinely challenged by those on the wrong side of the dash, when the police force is overworked and overwhelmed by political subterfuge, our society will be on the brink. As a society, we are currently engaged in a negative-sum game. The rule of law cannot, unlike rights, be engineered. It can only be practiced if we understand that liberty has to be balanced with equality and pluralism entails a measure of negative liberty. So let's go to the options and see which is the best option which we can provide in the blank space and thus make the paragraph more meaningful. So for the rule of the law to be well established, establishing, established, and none of these. So obviously the correct option is established. For the rule of the law to be well established. The second question is question number 66. Even if the well-meaning antagonist of the CAA, genuine, genuinely, wrong, right, believes so. So let's go for the answer key. Genuinely believes so. So the answer is, even if the well-meaning antagonist of the CAA genuinely believes so. Next, 67. As it has across India, when the police are routinely challenged by those on the wrong side of the dash, on the wrong side of the face, on the wrong side of the law, on the wrong side of the police, and none of these. Okay, so the answer key tells us that when the police on the wrong side of the law, on the wrong side of the law. Question number 68. Sorry, 67. Now moving on to question number 68. Questions 68 to 70. In the following questions, 4 alternatives are given for idioms and phrases. Choose the one that best expresses the meaning of the given idiom and phrase. Question number 68. What is the meaning of the idiom, get into hot water? The options given are to swim in the deep water, to think of a difficult problem, to get into difficult situation, to discuss a burning topic. So the best option here is to get into a difficult situation. That is option C. So 68, C is the right option. Question number 69. What is the meaning of the idiom, rain cats and dogs? Options given are to rain heavily, to fight in the rain, cat and dog fight, rainwater wastage. So obviously, to rain cats and dogs means rain heavily. Rain heavily is where you mean to rain cats and dogs. So option A is the correct option for question number 69. Now question number 70. What is the meaning of the idiom at dagger drawn? At dagger drawn. The options given are to throw daggers, to be bitterly hostile, to be confused, to think deeply. So here, the answer key is to be bitterly hostile, at daggers drawn. Obviously, the imagery itself tells us that you draw your daggers, for instance, in all old, plays and all, we have seen if there is a challenge, then immediately the warriors, they draw their daggers so that they can fight with each other. And that definitely means to be bitterly hostile. So question number 70, B is the right option. Now, question number 71 to 75, we have a passage which is given with the questions after that. A couple of questions are given after that. We have to read the passage thoroughly and then answer. The best options have to be selected as the answers to the question. Moving on to the passage. My brother David was always close to our grandmother. Both of them shared a love of Mother Nature and a food that they had grown themselves. Whenever his schedule permitted, he would drop in for a short visit and a cup of coffee. One day, when he found no one home, he left a chunk of dirt on her porch. This started what was later known to be his calling card. Grandmother would come home occasionally and instantly know that Dave had been by when she spotted the chunk of dirt on her porch. Although grandmother had a poor upbringing in Italy, she managed to do well in the United States. She was always healthy and independent and enjoyed a fulfilling life. Recently, she had a stroke and she passed away, or she died. Everyone was saddened by her death. David was disconsolate. Disconsolate means nobody could console him. So that is disconsolate. His lifelong friend was now gone. Now the questions are, which of the following is the synonym of the word upbringing? The options given are devastated, hilarious, raising, surrounding. So obviously, we all know that the best option for upbringing is raising a child. Okay, so upbringing means to raise a child. So option C is the correct option for question number 71. Now moving on to question number 72. The adjective form of the word saddened is dash. The adjectival form or the adjective form of the word saddened. Now we all know that an adjective is a word which describes a noun form. Okay, so for instance, if you imagine a noun form, how can you change that noun form to an adjectival form? So sadness is the noun form, and the adjectival form of sadness can be sadly, sad, suddenly, sudden. So the adjectival form of saddened is sad. Okay, because you have to use sad man. If you're using sad to describe a noun form, then you have to go for sad man. It's just that you have to place it before a noun form to know whether it is right or wrong. So obviously, B comes as the right answer. Now question number 73, what was the condition of the grandmother earlier? Rich in Italy, but poor in the United States. In the United States, but now in Italy. Poor earlier, but became rich later on. Rich earlier, but now poor. Obviously, the answer key is 73C. She was poor earlier, but has become rich later on. Now, question number 74. The grandmother enjoyed a dash life. Healthy but sickly life. Good and healthy life. Rich but sickly life. Poor and healthy life. So she enjoyed a very good and healthy life. So B is the answer choice. Now moving on to the next question. Grandmother's death made everyone sad, including David. Grandmother's death made everyone disconsolate, excluding David. Grandmother's death made everyone happy and disconsolate. Grandmother's death made everyone sad, excluding David. So obviously the answer key is grandmother's death made everyone sad, including David. It's not like everyone disconsolate, excluding David. That is option B. They are not considering David. That's excluding. And grandmother's death did not make everyone happy and disconsolate. That is wrong. And grandmother's death did not make everyone sad, excluding David, because David was the saddest of the lot. So obviously, A can be taken as the right option. So these are the questions which are included from this particular question paper. Now let's move on to the next set of questions. The next set of questions which we have to discuss is just give me a second. AFCAT 2, 2019. So I'll just So let's get ready for the next set of questions. In the midst of each question, I'll be giving you a break of 1 or 2 minutes so that I get everything set on the screen. So please kindly cooperate with that. Now moving on to the next question paper, that is AFCAT 2, 2019. Choose the one which best expresses the meaning of the given words. Allegiance, loyalty, violence, disloyalty, treachery, extra. 57, abashed, that is dauntless, ashamed, intrepid, honest. 58, altruism, A, selfishness, deceitful, C, selfishness, skepticism. 59, question number 59 to 61. In the following questions, choose the word opposite in meaning to the given questions. 59, adroit. You've got honest, be adept, gallant, and incompetent. Question number 60, vague. We've got clear, faint, obscure, and vague, vogue. Question number 61, frugal. The answer choice is miserly, gluttonous, plentiful, and extravagant. The next set of questions, that is 62 to 65. In the following questions, 4 alternatives are given for idioms and phrases. Choose the alternative which best expresses the meaning of the idiom phrase. Question number 62, to bury the hatchet. To bury the hatchet, to make peace with the enemy. I hope I'm sure. We are on questions 62 to 65. In the following questions, 4 alternatives are given for the idiom and phrase. Choose the alternative which best expresses the meaning of the idiom or phrase. To bury the hatchet, to make peace with the enemy, to throw soil over something, to make someone cry, to kill someone. Strain every nerve. Question number 63. To hurt someone. B, to make the greatest possible effort. C, to count every nerve. D, to spread something everywhere. 64, at the 11th hour, that's the last moment. Too late, too early, immediately, or at the last moment. So obviously D will be the right answer. We'll have the discussion of the answer keys after having a look at all the questions. 65, to burn one's fingers. The options given are to get hurt physically, to suffer financial losses, to find work, to suffer nervous breakdown. Now moving on to question 69 to 66 to 69. In question number 11 to 14, some part of the sentences have errors and some are correct. Find out which part has an error. I think there's a small mistake and it's not 11 to 14. It could be 69 to 66 to 69. Okay, that's a small error, printing error. Find out which part of a sentence has an error. If a sentence is free from an error, you can mark it as D. Now the first question, question number 69 is, our country, A, does not lack, B, in scientists of quality, C, no error. 67, it's feared that hundreds of people have lost their lives. Question number 68. He is one of those students who comes late regularly. Question number 69. This child was run over with a private bus. Now 70 to 73 in questions 15 to 18, sentences are given with blanks to be filled with appropriate words, that is S. 4 alternatives are suggested for each question. Choose the correct alternative of the 4 options. That is question number 69. Question number 70. After the treatment, he was relieved, dash the pain, of the pain, for the pain, from the pain, with the pain. Question number 71. Several items have been left, dash from the list. Out of the list, within the list, behind the list, off the list. Question number 72. I have not paid my school fees already, now, then, yet. Question number 73. My father has dash returned home from work, has now returned home from work, has never returned home from work, has defense returned home from work, has just returned home from work. Now let's move on to the reading comprehension passage. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions given below. Plants need sunlight and water to make their own food. You can do an experiment to test if this is true. Place a bucket over a patch of green grass, and after a few days, lift the bucket. You will see that the grass is not as green anymore. If you leave the bucket in place for a week, the grass will become very dull. This happens because the grass cannot make food in the dark. Remove the bucket. In a few days, the grass will turn green again. So the questions given are, what do plants need? Buckets are bad. Plants need sunlight. Grass is not pretty. Plants need air. So among the options, we have to go for the correct option. Question number 75, what is the experiment? A way to grow grass, a way to test an idea, a way to grow a bucket, a way to use sunlight. We have to choose among the correct option. Question 76 to 80, read the following passage carefully and answer the questions. The Postal Service in the government agency handles the mail. Its job is dash letters and packages to people and business all over the world. Its goal is to see that your mail gets to its destination. People dash the Postal Service to deliver important letters and even valuables. Dash time to the right person. So the Postal Service is the government agency. The fact that, whether, of which, that. Then its job is being delivered, to be delivered, to have delivered, to deliver. Then question number 78. Its goal is to see that your mail gets to its destination less quickly, too quickly, so quickly that, or as quickly that. You have to choose among those options. Question number 79. People dash the police for the Postal Service to deliver important letters and even valuables. People back out the Postal Service. People check out the Postal Service. People come in the Postal Service. People rely on the Postal Service. Now question number 80. Dash time to the right person and even valuables, dash time to the right person. Even valuables to time, even valuables for time, even valuables at time, even valuables on time. So you have to select the correct option. How many total medals? Okay, so those are the questions. And let's move on to the answers. I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes to go through the answers and see whether what you have selected has been right. And then we'll have a quick discussion about how it came right. So the questions, the English version of the verbal ability papers are question number 49. Question number 49. To 80. So we have this many questions in this question paper, and the answer keys will be displayed, and you'll be given 5 minutes time to correct the answers on your own, and then we'll quickly go for a discussion of the answers. So question number 49 to 80 is displayed on the screen, and I hope it is clear enough. Then we'll have a quick discussion of it. I hope you have gone through and answered the questions on your own, and then we have a quick discussion of the answers, starting from question number 49. Okay, 49. Pituitary is to brain. Likewise, thymus is to chest, that is B. 50. Forecast is related to the future. Regret is related to C, that is the past. 51. Family is related to home, and colleagues are related to B, that is office. India, national bird is peacock. USA, the national bird is the bald eagle. Now questions 53 to 55. Find the odd one or the numbers, and you have to remove it or the odd one out. So 53, question number 53. Albatross, ostrich, pelican, and penguin. Ostrich. Yeah, ostrich is the odd one out. 54, internet banking, mobile banking, automated teller machine, personal banking. 54, automated teller banking, because you have to go and do it, whereas all the others you can do it at home. 55, cathedral, mosque, temple, monastery. B, because all the rest are places of worship, and monastery is the place where the clergy or the religious people stay. Then questions 56 to 58. Allegiance, loyalty, violence, disloyalty, treachery. The best option is A, allegiance, loyalty. 57, abashed, dauntless, ashamed, intrepid, honest. 57, abashed, ashamed can be taken as the best option. 58, altruism, selfishness, deceitful, selflessness, skepticism. 58, C, that is selflessness is taken as the best option there. Then moving on to '59, 60, 61. '59, B, incompetent is the opposite of adroit. 60, wake, clear is the opposite of wake, so A is the best option. 61, frugal means very miserly, so the opposite is extravagant, D. Then question 62 to 65. In the following questions, 4 alternatives are given for the idioms or phrases. You have to choose the alternative which best expresses the meaning of the idiom or phrase. To bury the hatchet, to make peace with the enemy, to throw soil over something, to make someone cry, to kill someone. Strain every nerve, to make the greatest possible effort. At the 11th hour means the last moment. It's D. To burn one's fingers means to suffer in order to find to work until the last. Moving on to questions 66 to 69. Our country, you have to find out where the error lies. Our country does not lack in scientists of quality. You don't need an in there. so does not lack scientists of quality. 67, it's feared that 100 of people have lost their lives. So it is feared that have lost their lives. So the error lies in C. 67, 68. He is one of those students who come late regularly. Okay, so the error is detected. 68C again. '69, this child was run over with a private bus, by a private bus. Okay, so that is the error there. Now in questions 70 to 73. So questions 70 to 73, we have, after the treatment, he was relieved of the pain. Several items have been left out of the list. I have not paid my school fees yet. 73, my father just returned from work. Now we have read a passage, and as based on the passage, question number 74. Plants need sunlight, obviously. The experiment was to show how a way to grow grass in the proper manner. Now questions 76 to 80. The answer keys are the first question, the Postal Service is the government agency. The fact that the government agency that handles its mail. 77, its job is to deliver letters. 78, your mail gets to its destination as quickly as. 79, people rely on the Postal Service to deliver important letters and even valuables. 80, even valuables at the right time. Sorry, on the right time. So these are the questions and the answers of the next question paper. Now moving on to the next set of questions, that is AFCAT. We have questions 21 to 27. So select the word which gives the nearest meaning of the given word. A, ambiguous, vague, clear, transparent, confusion. 22, adept, brave, clever, skilled, bold. 23, brawl, loud fight, soft conversation, small fight, loud conversation. 24, bolster, weaken, loosening, fortify, gaining, course. 25, coarse, rough texture, sophisticated, inoffensive, refined. 26, difference, honest, respect, faith, loyal. 27, dire, hopeless, hopeful, bold, brave. Then questions 28 to 35. Select the word which gives the opposite of the given word. 28, courteous, soft, rude, polite, respect. 29, dismal, sad, cheerful, happy, sorrow. Then we move on to question 30. 30, contradict. Option A, agree. Option B, argue. Option C, misunderstand. Option D, conversation. 31, dreary. Option A, sad. Option B, gloomy. Option C, happy. Option D, bright. 32, dubious. A, doubtful. B, uncertain. C, certain. D, confusion. Question number 33, emphatic. A, expressive. B, silent. C, reserved. D, hesitant. 34, hostile. Harmful. B, dangerous. C, useful. D, friendly. Question number 35, oust. A, remove. B, force out. C, retain. D, expel. You have to select among that group. Then moving on to the next set of questions. I will be reading the questions first. I repeat, I'll be reading the questions first. Then the answer key will be displayed in front of you. And you can clear it. If you have any doubt, the questions can be posted in the chat box. Directions, questions 36 to 50. Select the meaning of the given phrase or idioms. 36, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. So enjoy forever, have it both ways, run away from responsibility, absolve yourself of guilt. So you have to select among these four options and select which is the right one. Question number 37. The rebels held out for about a month. The rebels waited. The rebels retreated, bargained. Or resisted. Now question number 38. Sorry about that. The next set of questions. The new economic policy is likely to run into rough weather, create problems, encounter difficulties, confuse matters to make things difficult. 39. The old father brought home the moral of unity by asking each of his sons to break the bundle of sticks. So emphasized, voiced, declared, suggested. Question number 40. Some people now wondered whether we just pay lip service or genuinely subscribe to democracy, pay oral tribute, attach no value, remain indifferent. He visits the doctor off and on. The meaning of that sentence can be every day, regularly, never at all, occasionally. The robber took to his heels when the police arrived, opened fire, hid himself, ran off, surrendered. 43. I hope it will not put you out if I am late. I hope it will not harm you, irritate you, please you, worry you. Question number 44. Manoj was the real power behind the throne and all politicians were aware of it. The person who had the real control and power, the acknowledged leader. I'm giving you 1 minute time to read these questions and then you can have the answer key. The person who controlled the monarch, the person who controlled the queen. 45, his friends let him down. That is failed, comforted, succeeded, stood by. I felt like a fish out of the water among all those business tycoons. Option A, troubled. Option B, stupid. Option C, uncomfortable. Option D, inferior. Question 47. The accounts of the murder made her flesh creep. Option A, made her sad. Option B, surprised her. Option C, made her cry bitterly. Option D, filled her with horror. Question 48. He is an interesting speaker but tends to go off at tangent. A, change the subject immediately, forgot things in between, go on a great length, become boisterous. Women should be paid the same as men when they do the same job, for surely what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. What is thought suitable pay for a man should also be there for a woman. Goose and gander eat the same sauce. Both the goose and the gander should be equally treated. The principle of equal treatment should be implemented. 50, the party stalwarts had advised the president to take it lying down for a while. So it means to be cautious, to be on the defensive, to take rest, to show no reaction. So we have questions 21 to 50, and the answer key is displayed on the screen. The answer key is displayed on the screen. Questions number 21 to 50. Question number 21A, 22C, 23A, 24C, 25A, 26B, 27A, 28B, 29B, 30A, 31D, 32C, 33D, 34D, 35C, 36B, 37D, 38B, 39A, 40D, 41D, 42C, 43B, 44A, 45A, 46C, 47B, D, 48A, 49A, and 50D. You're given 5 minutes time, then you have a couple of hints here. The meaning of ambiguous is vague. That is unclear. The meaning of adept, having knowledge. Okay, so you have a couple of, it can be clarified in the chat box. This will be displayed for 1 or 2 minutes on the screen, and then we'll move on to the next question. Next, we come to AFCAT 2019 question paper. We have the verbal ability part. (51 to 53). Question number 51. Poltroon. Options: pusillanimous, gallant, gusty, wearied, rostrum, guardian, podium, device, scheme, prologue, adjourn, convene, rally, continue. Questions 54 to 56. In the following questions, choose the word opposite in meaning to the given word. Lucrate, debt, elegance, outlaw, sissy. 55. Rabble, rag, nobility. Scanty, sanction. 56. Coterie, loner, socialized, elite, indecent. Questions 57 to 60. In the following questions, some part of the sentence may have errors. Find out which part of the sentence has an error and select the appropriate option. If a sentence is free from error, select no error. 57. It is being hard to believe that my brother could be involved in anything so sinister. If there's an error, we have been asked to select the error. If there is no error, we can mark it as D. 58. The average age at which people die of heart diseases are decreasing. If there is no error, it can be marked as D. 59. Hardly had I stepped out of my house when I saw them coming towards my house. If there is no error, mark it as D. The last Mughal emperor was sent into exile by the British. Select the option or else mark it as D. Question 61 to 63. Read the passage carefully and choose the best answer to each question out of 4 alternatives. In the world, have we made health an end in itself? We've forgotten that health is really a means to enable a person to do his work and do it well. A lot of modern medicine is concerned with promotion of good health. Many patients, as well as many physicians, pay very little attention to health, but very much attention to health makes people imagine that they are ill. A great concern with health is shown by medical columns in newspapers, the health articles in popular magazines, and the popularity of the television programs, and all those books on medicine. We talk about health all the time. Yet, for the most, all the results is more people with imaginary illness. The healthy man should not be wasting any time talking about health. He should be using health for work, the work that he does, and the work that makes good health possible. Now, based on that, we have a couple of questions. Modern medicine is primarily concerned with A, promotion of good health, B, people suffering from imaginary illness, C, people suffering from real illness, D, increased efficiency in work. 62, a healthy man should be concerned with his work, which good health makes possible, looking after his health, C, his health, which makes work possible, D, talking about health. 63, our great concern with health is shown by free medicine distribution in hospitals, free education to medical students, taking yoga classes, the health articles in popular magazines. In the following questions, 4 alternatives are given for idioms, phrases, and noun. Choose the one that best expresses the meaning of the given idiom and phrase. Brain sauce. A, foolish. B, wisdom. C, mentally ill. Head full of thoughts. Lunch low. Low opposed by the government. Low of the mob. A law that is supposed to be useless. A law, a rule that no one follows. Globetrotters, travelers around the world. Sick people in the hospital. The people living in asylum. World champion. Dole out. A, allocate. B, be effective. C, turn up. D, dismanage. Then moving on to questions 68 to 70. In the following passages, some of the words have been left out. Read the passage carefully and select the correct answer for the given blank out of 4 alternatives. Some scholars, while exploring the forest of America, discovered some buildings that were in ruins. The buildings were dash ruined by encroaching forest. They were remnants of a dash civilization. The scholar got interested, they excavated more and discovered dash. Their utmost surprise, the remains of a flourishing civilization, the Mayas as they named it. 68, reasonably, uh, surely, apparently, perfectly. The options for question 69 is great, invisible, static, ordinary. 70, the options are at, for, by, and to. Then questions 71 to 75. In the following questions, sentences are given with blanks to be filled with an appropriate word. 4 alternatives are suggested for each question. Choose the correct alternative out of the 4 as your answer. 71. Grandmother has a good memory. She can remember things which dashed many years ago. Had happened, have happened, happened, happens to be. I dash her among the crowd just now. I have glimpsed her, I had glimpsed her, I have been glimpsing her, I glimpsed her. Lost time is dash again, and what we call time enough always proves little enough. Lost time is found never again. Lost time is found is find never again. Lost time is never found, never been found. To such a degree that people rebuked him. To such a degree he made a noise. To such a degree did he make a noise. To such a degree he had made a noise. To such a degree to such a degree he made a noise. Did he make a noise? He had made a noise. Did he make a noise? That people rebuked him. 75. I'm going to adopt her as Julie sooner. I'm going to adopt her as sooner as Julie, as sooner, as quickly as Julie, as earlier as Julie, as soon as Julie, and get married. So here in this question, we have questions 51 to 75. And let's go for the answers. The answers will be displayed on the screen. You can correct it on your own. Five minutes will be given for the correction of the answers, and then we'll move on to the next question paper. Now moving on to the next set of questions. AFCAT 2 2018 solved paper. From question number 21 onwards. Question number 21 to 27, select the word which gives the nearest meaning of the given word: defunct, disused, useless, usable, useful. Brown, muscle, power, weakness, task. Debilitate, strong, weakened, soft, fragile. 24, don't, intimidate, intimate, initiate, indulge. 25, capricious, prickle, sickle, fickle, tickle. 26, umbrage, defensive, bridle, outrage, calmness. 27, controversy, dispute, agreement, consent, rumble. Questions 28 to 35, select the word which means the opposite of the given word. 28, tranquility, commotion, emotion, redemption, rectification. 29, brownie, agony, weak, polite, scrawly. 30, prevalent, rare, precious, common, tough, bizarre, ordinary, unusual, rare, nightmare. 32, reveal, show, hide, wrap, engulf. Split. 33, engage, collide, combine, blast. 34, ironic, stupid, clever, illogical, funny. 35, obstacle, advantage, disadvantage, barrier, path. 36 to 45, select the meanings of the given phrases and idioms. To make clean, pressed off, to gain prominence, to praise oneself, to confess without of reserve, to destroy before it glooms. 37, by dint of, by the significance of, by means of, by the influence of, with the help of. 38, to keep one's temper, to become hungry, to be in a good mood, to preserve one's energy, to be aloof from. 39, to catch a Tartar, to trap wanted criminals with great difficulty, to catch a dangerous person, to meet with a disaster, to deal with a person who is more than one's match. 40, to drive home, to find one's roots, to return to place of rest, to back to the original position, to emphasize. 41, to have an axe to grid, a private end to serve. B, to fail to arouse interest. C, to have no result. D, to work for both sides. 42, to cry wolf, to listen eagerly. B, to give false alarm, to turn pale. D, to keep off starvation. 43, to end in smoke, to make completely understood, to ruin oneself, to excite great applause, to overcome someone. 44, to be above board, to have a great height, to be honest in any business deal. They have no debts, they try to be beautiful. To put one's hands to plow, to take up agricultural farming, to take up a difficult task, to get entangled into unnecessary things, to take interest in technical works. In each of the following words, choose the correctly spelled word of achievement. So there are 4 spellings in question 46. You have to select the correct one. 47, compression is the word. 4 spellings are provided, out of which you have to select one. 48, diligence. Select the correct spelling. 49, perspiration. You have to correct the correct spelling. And question number 50, proceeding. So go through the words and correct the spelling. So in this particular question paper, we have questions 21 to 50. 21 to 50, and the answer key will be shortly shown. So questions 21 to 50. Please correct the answer key. Answer key is displayed on the screen. So please correct it, check it, and if you have any doubt, it can be asked. One minute time is given for the correction of the answers. I believe you have corrected the answers. Now moving on to the hints. The hints also will be displayed on the screen for 1 or 2 minutes. So you have to check from question 21 onwards. 21 onwards. So you are given. The hints will be displayed, and please check the answers. And if there is any doubt, you can use the chat box. Now moving on to the next set of questions. AFCAT 2 2018 question paper. Verbal ability. Questions 51 to 75. Question 51 to 53. Study the paragraph and answer the questions that follows. Judiciary has become the center of conversation in the recent past on account of the sudden knee in the level of judicial intervention. The area of judicial intervention has been steadily expanding through the device of public interest litigation. The judiciary has shed its pre-status quo approach and has taken it upon itself the duty to enforce the basic rights of the poor and vulnerable sections of society by progressive interpretation and positive action. The Supreme Court has developed new methods of dispensing justice to the masses through the public interest litigation. Former Chief Justice P.N. Bhagwat, under whose leadership public interest litigation attained a new dimension, comments the Supreme Court has developed several new commitments. It has carried forth participative justice. Question number 51. The steady expansion of judicial intervention is the result of excessive roles, public interest litigation, Supreme Court's new methods of dispensing justice, new commitments of the Supreme Court. 52. According to the author, judiciary has become the center of conversation because problems arising in dispensing justice in the recent past Public interest litigation, suddenly in the level of judicial intervention. D, Supreme Court's supremacy. 53, according to Justice P. N. Bhagwat, Supreme Court has developed A, judicial intervention, B, various new commitments, C, participative judicial approach to dispense justice, D, public interest litigation. So you have to select the correct options for these three questions and write it. Directions 54 to 58, given below are sentences with a blank in each. Identify the most suitable alternative among the 5 given that fits into the blank to make the sentence logical and meaningful. In the same amount of time it would take me to correct all dash in your report, I could write a better report myself. To correct all the mistakes in your report, to correct all the problems in your report, to correct all the accuracies in your report, to correct all the obstacles in your report. I have recently used the service. Question number 55. I have recently used the services of his dash agency to book a cruise in the Mediterranean. I have used the services of his progress, B, deportation, C, travel, D, transfer agencies. Question number 56. They would like local authorities to be given greater dash as to how the money is spent. They would like local authorities to be given greater affairs, B, function, greater omission, greater discretion as to how the money is spent. 57. In a 10 billion year old galaxy, there should be ample dash for at least one species to escape its own mess, to spread across the stars, filling every niche. That is negligence, opportunity, surveillance, and supply. 58. A true dash of the resources involved in sports will include the unpaid labor service. A true growth, a true consideration, a true guidance, a true estimation. Coming to questions 59 to 61. In the following passages, some of the words have been left out. Read the passage carefully and select the correct answer for the given blank out of the 4 alternatives. Tibet, dash up images of a mystic land. Tibet molds, Tibet conjures, Tibet puts, Tibet toys. Up images of a mystic land. Snow-capped mountains pierce the blue sky and fierce chilly winds sweep the rolling grasslands. Maroon-robed Buddhist monks pray in remote monastery. And 60, sturdy horsemen, wobbly horsemen, devilish horsemen, drained horsemen pound the rugged earth. People in the great plateau perform punishing rituals like prostration, hundreds of miles in tattered clothes on pilgrimage. Spirit spells and flying apparitions are parts of the Tibetan world. In short, Tibet remains an inspiration, an abhorrent, an exotica, a heaven. Okay, so these are the given options. Now directions 62 to 65. In these questions, some of the sentences have errors and some do not have errors. Find out which part of a sentence has an error and indicate it corresponding to the appropriate letter. If there is no error, you can indicate it using no error. The Allahabad High Court at Monday dismissed a plea from private power producers seeking relief from an RBI dictate to banks to take cognizance of stress loan if repayments were missed even by a day. The Turkish Lira, which has lost almost half of its value this year, another currency in doldrums. No error. The mandate of emerging market central banks in the current scenario should let their currencies find their true values in a smooth manner. Development activities of A, government came to a standstill. B, due to paucity of funds. C, no error. D. Question 66 to 69. In the following questions, 4 alternatives are given for idioms and phrases in now. Choose the one that best expresses the meanings of the given phrase or idiom. Take the spear, to drink in the company of others. B, to make an exaggerated statement. C, to fight fiercely till the end. D, to accept full blame for something. 67, grist to one's mind. Harmful to one. B, useful to somebody, useless to somebody, dreadful to somebody. 68, in a lather. A, encouraged. B, tired. C, distressed. D, depressed. 69, mope down. To clean something, to misinterpret a statement, to be dejected, to be uncertain. Directions 70 to 21, questions 70 to 72. In the following questions, choose the word opposite in the meaning to the given word. Append, overbear, subdue, flourish, loose. 71, turf, shelter, oust, injure,
evict. 72, spleen, caprice, cheer, sway, boisterous. Questions 73 to 75. Out of the four alternatives, choose the one which best expresses the meaning of the given word. 73, barge, shove, shout, interpret, plead. 74, cherubic, elderly, lowness, adorable, hard-headed. 75, hammock, tranquility, slab, hammer, no. So these are the verbal ability questions, that is questions 51 to 75. And now the answer keys will be displayed on screen, and you'll be given 1 or 2 minutes time to correct it. So questions 51. '51 to 56 is on page 74, after which you will be given 2 minutes time to verify the answers from the answer key. And if there is any doubt, the doubts can be asked in the chat box. I believe the answers have been corrected. Now moving on to the next set of questions. 2080 question paper. Here we have the verbal ability questions starting from 57, question number 57. Question number 57 to 61. Sorry. Questions 52 to 56. From 52 onwards, we have the verbal ability part. Okay. It's kind of a mix of reasoning questions also. We have a couple of other questions in between, but it's fine. So 52, flexible, rigid, confidence. You have to find the matching word from diffidence, indifference, cowardice, and scare. Mirage is found in the desert. Mirage is to desert. Sky to illusion, rainbow to sky, rain to rainbow, image to mirror. Anemia related to blood, anarchy related to disorder, monarchy, government, lawlessness. Symphony is related to composer, painter is related to dash. Fresco, colors, art, Leonardo. Influenza is related to virus, ringworm is related to dash. Bacteria, fungus, parasite, protozoa. 57 to 61, find the odd numbers or the number pair from the given alternatives. Annoy, distress, harass, ravage. 58, hurdle, disease, barrier, obstacle. So you have to pick the odd one out. 59, rooster, buck, gander, peahen. 60, fastidious, firm, grave, agreeable. 61, soldier, barrack. Principal, school, artist, troupe, singer, chorus. Okay. So after that, we should be having some continuous verbal questions. Yeah. We have from 76 to 79. Dr. Carver was an American Negro slave who, by the dint of his ability, became a scientist. Question number 76, sorry. A national monument has now been erected to honor him. This monument has been built as his birthplace in the United States of America. Carver's life and achievement proved the American saying, "You can't keep a great man down." From childhood, he showed qualities which gave promise of his genius. He would get up before sunrise to study the wonders of the nature before the break of the dawn in the east. His guardians wanted to educate him, but were too poor to do so, so he left home. He was hardly 10 when he began to work at small jobs to earn a little money for his school expenses. He continued to do so even when he was at college. Thus, he passed his MSc examination and became a professor. There, he wrote several books on science subjects. His chief desire was to do the greatest good to the greatest number of people. He left all his life savings to found scholarships for research in agricultural chemistry. He knew his research was bound to benefit the farmers all around the world. Though world famous, he never felt proud of his discoveries. "I discovered nothing," he once said. "I'm God's agent, the instrument through which he works." So the first question based on those reading passages, what can you say about the early life of Dr. Carver? He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was brought up in an orphanage. He had struggled a lot. His parents were poor. He was brought up and educated by wealthy parents. 77. Which of the following statements show that he was a great lover of mankind? He offered charitable service to the poor. He desired to do good to the great number of people. He opened several colleges and institutes. He donated all his life savings. 78. Find out the statement that he was so humble. He never felt proud of his discoveries. He always respected the women. He was very polite in his attitude. He admired his own achievements. What was Dr. Carver by profession? By profession, he was a doctor, politician, scientist, professor. Questions 80 to 84. Select the word which means the opposite of the given word. Profane, sacred, artless, rigid, aspersion. Obligatory. Question number 81. Doubtful, voluntary, sincere, faithfully. 82. Obscure. Options: suitable, apt, thalamus, clear. Questions 83, mutual options, reciprocal, agreed, common, conjugal. 84, evident options, prominent, seen, observed, quite clear. Questions 85 to 89. In the following passage, there are some numbered blanks. Fill in the blanks by selecting the most appropriate word for each blank from the given options. In tropical countries, certain crops are grown, dash the year, along the year, over the year, throughout the year, across the year. These countries have sufficient, little, plenty, adequate rainfall for the crops. They also have plenty of sunshine. What opens, gathers, destroys, ripens the crops. More food than is cooked, required, planted, used can be grown in these places, but there are other countries in the world where it is difficult, rough, smooth to grow crops. Impossible to grow crops. Questions 90 to 95. Select the meaning of the given phrases or idioms. Man of letters is a man who writes letters, a man who receives letters, an illiterate person, a learned person. All Greek means options: totally classic, totally unintelligible, totally impressive, totally original. 92, a live wire means a person who's full of energy, an eminent person, an unruly person, a critical person. 93, writing on the wall means graffiti, an event indicating impending danger, announcement of an event, a political slogan. 94, a fool's paradise means a paradise of idiots, a state of illusionary happiness, to live in the past, to have happy dreams. 95, nip in the bud means to destroy in the beginning, extremely good start, striving from the beginning, nurture the bud to grow into flower. Questions 96 to 100. In each of the following questions, choose the correctly spelled word. 96, property, propriety. 97, rehearsal. 98, millionaire. 99, fascist. And 100, legendary. So the verbal ability questions are from questions 75 to 100. And the answer key is displayed on the screen. Please check 75 to 100. Questions 75 to 100. This will be displayed for a minute on the screen. You can do the corrections and then we'll move on to the explanations. 75 to 100. If the answers have been corrected, you have the explanation of the answers, which will be displayed on screen. Questions 75 to 100. Sorry, 76 to 100. Let's continue to the next set of questions. 2017 question paper. So here we have the first set of questions starting with the verbal ability paper. So questions 1 to 5, choose the word which is nearest in meaning to the given word. Ameliorate, improve, disapprove, appreciate, discourage. Haggle, the options are struggle, bargain, advise, acknowledge. Morose, ill-tempered, well-behaved, kind-hearted, and cunning. Taciturn, options are talkative, uncommunicative, clever, bad-tempered. 5, cajole, deceive, kind, suspect, humor. Questions 6 to 10, choose the most appropriate options that explain the correct meaning of the following idioms. A man of straw, options, a man with no means, a generous man, a man of character, a man of no substance. 7, to catch a Tartar, to catch a dangerous person, to meet with the disaster, to make a deal, to hurry up. Questions number 8, to have an axe to grind, to have a strong personal opinion, to fail to arouse interest, to have no results, to work for both sides. Question 9, to play the second fiddle, to be happy, cheerful, and healthy, to reduce importance of one senior, to support the role and view of another person, to do backstreet driving. 10, to go to the wall, to be ruined, to be idle, to be in grave trouble, to go for a holiday. Questions 11 to 15, choose the correctly spelled word. Vermilion, scriptorium. 13, thesaurus. 14, ulterior. 15, reckonance. Okay, so out of this, you have to select the correct spelled word. And moving on to the reading comprehension passages, the questions start from 16 to 20. Read the following passage and answer the following questions. The most important reason for the state of affairs is that India is the only country in the world to truly recognize the achievement of the Soviet Union rather than merely focusing on the debilitated faults that communism has brought to its people. The people of India realize that the achievement of 100% illiteracy in a country much larger than its own, and with similarly complicated ethnic and religious groupings, the rapid industrialization of a nation that was primarily agrarian society where the Bolshevik Revolution took place in 1917, the attendant revolutionary steps in science and technology, the accessibility of health care, primeval according to Western standards perhaps, but not according to Indian ones, to the general population, and despite prohibition of the government at the time, the vast outpourings in literature, music, art, etc., momentous and fast feats and remarkable feats of any country. In contrast, all that the West focused on were the massive human rights violation by the Soviet states on its people, the deliberate uprooting and mass migration of ethnic peoples from one part of the country to another in the name of industrialization, the end of religion. In short, all the tools of information were employed to condemn the ideology of communism, so much at variance with capitalist thinking. The difference with the Indian perspective, I think, here is that while the Indians reacted as negatively to what the Soviet government did to its people in the name of the good governance, witnessed the imprisonment of Boris Baskar and the formation of an international committee to put pressure for his release with Jawaharlal Nehru at its head, they took the pain to condemn the people of that broad country in black and white terms. He understood that mingles in the shade of grade were grains of uniqueness. The Russians have never failed that characteristic in themselves. They have twice experimented with completely different ideologies, communalism and capitalism, both in the space of a century. Question number 16. Which of the following statements is correct according to the passage? India focused on the weak faults of Russian politics and system. India seriously commended the achievement of Russia, that is 100% literacy and rapid industrialization. The process of industrialization has already started where revolutionary Russian Revolution took place in 1917. The literature, art, and music received a setback during the communist regime in Russia. Question number 17. The West did not pay heed to options: rapid growth of nuclear weapon in Russia, massive human rights violation by the Soviet state on its people, planned uprooting and mass migration of ethnic people in the name of industrialization, both B and C. Question number 18. India's perception towards USSR was always negative, counter-reactionary, applauding, neutral. Question number 19. The passage given above is descriptive, paradoxical, analytical, and thought-provoking. Directions 20 to 25. Choose the word which is nearly opposite in meaning to the given word. Relinquish, abdicate, renounce, deny, possess. Quiescent, active, dormant, weak, unconcerned. Flagitious, innocent, clever, ignorant, frivolous. Gregarious, antisocial, glorious, horrendous, similar. Hirsute, scaly, bald, erudite, quiet. Urbane, illiterate, backward, discourteous, orthodox. Directions. Choose the most important option. Questions 26 to 50. Okay. So you've got first 25 questions, and let's move on to the answer key. So you'll be given 1 minute time, 1 or 2 minutes time to just, the explanations of the questions are also given here. So it would be very easy for you to just have a look at the, very quickly correct the 25 questions. The first 25 are verbal ability questions, so correct it. And if there is any doubt, make use of the chat box. 1, 2 minutes of time will be given for both. Now moving on to the next set of questions. Now we have the next set of questions. That is, questions. First set is choose the word which is nearest in meaning to the given word. Idiocy, madness, happiness, wisdom, repentance. Harbinger, remarkable, omen, meritorious, overwhelming, passe, out of date, forthcoming, fashionable, predictable. Questions 4 to 6. Choose the appropriate option that explains the meaning of the following idioms. To hit the nail on the head, options. Find exactly the right answer, to scold someone, to show correct path to someone, to be harsh in behavior, 5, hailed on days, bad days, sunny days, cloudy days, happy days. To keep the wolf from the door, to remain alert, to question the others in case of doubt, to have enough money to avert hunger or starvation, to chase others to get something. Questions 7 to 10, you have been asked to to choose the correctly spelled word. First word is question 7, accreditation. 8, vicarious. 9, abbreviate. And 10, acquaintance. So among the given options, you are asked to correct the spelling. Then question 11 to 13, read the following passage and answer the following questions. At this stage of civilization, when many nations were brought in close and the vital contact for good and evil, it is important as never before that their gross ignorance of one another should be diminished, and they should begin to understand a little of one another's historical experience and resulting mentality. It is the fault of the English to expect the people of other countries to react as they do to political and international situations. Our goodwill and good intention are often brought to nothing because we expect other people to be like us. This would be corrected if we knew the history, not necessarily in detail, but in broad outlines of the social and political conditions which have been given to each nation as the present character. Question number 11. According to the author, mentality of a nation is mainly a product of its options, present character, international position, politics, and history. Question number 12. According to the author, his countrymen should, options, read the story of other nations, not react to the other actions, to have a better understanding of the other nations, to have vital contact with the other nations. Question number 13. There is a need for a greater understanding between the nations. Options is more today than ever before, was always there, is no longer there, will always be there. Questions 14 to 50. Choose a word which is nearly opposite in meaning to the given word. Question number 14, amending. Options, alter, ameliorate, better, debase. Question number 15, entangle. Options, untwist, twist, hook, and impede. Question 16 to 50, choose the most appropriate option. What is the, okay, sorry, I think that belongs to another section. So we have just 15 questions here. And let's go to the answer key. You've got the answers and the key and the explanation displayed here. Have a quick look at it. You will be given 1 minute time to go through these answers and find the key. Now moving on to the next set of questions. Next question paper. (2016). We have the first verbal ability comes at the first part. So question number 1 to 5, which word or word explains the meaning of the following idioms? All agog, almighty. Options are almighty, unmoved, praise someone, full of interest and excitement. 2, to the manners born. Options, one of lower birth, naturally at ease, place of one's birth, cesarean birth. 3, lose one's marbles, lose something dear to you, suffer a setback, become insane, become drunk. Bolt from the blue. Options, sea swimming, complete surprise, reckless, careless. Question 5, be like a bear with a sore head. Options, be in a foul mood, have a headache, powerful and arrogant, restless. Question 6 to 9, choose the word which is nearly opposite in the meaning of the given word. Beguile. Options are deceive, honest, charm, cheat. Question 7, ameliorate. Options are deteriorate, procrastinate, stagnate, and deviate. Question number 8, feckless. Spotted, fatuous, strong, and fawning. Question number 9, cacophonous. Options are taint, harmonious, silent, domestic. Questions 10 to 14, select the most appropriate word from the options against each number. About 60% of the human body is water. If you could dash out a human being like a dash, you would obtain about 50 liters of water. This water, which is not like water because of the substance, it's necessary to the life of the human being. About a gallon of it is in the blood vessels and is dash circulated by temperature. The options given are 10, work, wrench, press, squeeze. 11, mango, lemon, fruit, banana. 12, usual, ordinary, common, normal. 13, dissolves, carries, contains, includes. 14, continued, made, got, kept. Questions 15 to 18, choose the correctly spelled words, and the words 15 is ascendancy. 16, hegemony. 17, perpetuate. 18, and apocalyptic. So among these, you have to select the correct spelled word. Now questions 19 to 22, choose the word which is nearest in meaning to the given word. Question number 19, preposterous. Options are formal, judicious, ridiculous, ceremonious. Question 20, dissemble. Options are disagree, shake, impeccable, conceal. 21, reckless. Options are flavorful, jaggering, boisterous, evil. 22, abrogate, put an end to, elope, gate crash, send away. Questions 23 to 25. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions given below. The great Acharyas have said that discovering a great goal, surrender yourself to that goal and act towards it, drawing your inspiration from that goal, whereby you'll get a new column of energy. Do not allow this energy to be dissipated in the futile memories of past regrets of failure, not in the excitement of the present, and thus bring that entire energy focused into activity. That is the highest creative action in the world around. Thereby, the individual who is still now considered as the most ineffective finds his way to the highest achievement and success. This is said very easily in a second, but in order to train our mind to this attitude needs considerable training, because we have already trained the mind wrongly to such an extent that we have become perfect in imperfections. Not knowing the art of action, we have become master artists in doing wrong things. The totality of activity will bring the country to a wrong end, indeed. The point is, intellect is very powerful and everyone is driving, but nobody seems to know how to control the mental energy and direct it properly or guide it to the proper destination. That's the passage, and the questions based on that passage is, the first question is, which of the following is the source of energy? Options given: a column that supports a building, stimulation obtained from a set aim, highest creative action, proper training of the mind to achieve perfections. Question number 24. The author's chief concern is, options given: establishment of socialistic pattern, B, discovery of great goal in the life, C, regulation of energy in the proper direction, D, training of the mind. 25. What is the effect of training if the wrong mind? Option A, we have become perfect in all aspects. B, art of action is too much emphasized. C, each of us could have become a master artist. D, none of these. Okay, so you've got 25 questions. And again, let's move on to the answer key. The answer key will be displayed for a minute, which will give you time to go through the answers. And the 25 answers are, the answer key is there. The 25 answers and their explanations are given. So you can just have a quick look at it. And if there's any doubt, please don't hesitate to use the chat box. The time for you to refer to the answers and the explanation is 1 minute. Please do that fast. Let's move on to the next set of questions. Next question paper, 2016. 2016. Questions 1 to 4. Choose the word or the word that best defines the given phrases. Beats me. Options: to hit someone, to quarrel with a person, to not understand, to be silent. Option 2, cloak and dagger, to fight in a finish, to get into an unexpected trouble, to end the hostility, to act like a spy. Third one, to be at the end of one's tether, to feel offended, to draw moral attention, to have no response left, to think deeply. I don't buy it, to refuse to purchase something, to give up, to decline an offer, not to be convinced. Questions 5 to 10, select the most appropriate word from the options against each number. Life is an entrancing, exciting, and charming, enhancing series of challenges and opportunities to be seized. You have to plan for exercising the right career choices. And the 6, catching, offsetting, grabbing, conceiving the right opportunities. Planned, options: delay, hindrance, application, execution. Rather than a hasty decision is, options: desirable, deferred, and inevitable, acceptable. As far as your career is concerned, you need to 9, check, classify, divide, analyze. What occupational groups, specifications, limitations, qualifications, identifications, and type of organizations are suitable for you. Questions 11 to 14, choose the correct spelled words, and the words which you have to spell right is ominous, hindrance, pejari, and reminiscence. Now we have a passage to read. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions given below. Questions 15 to 17. Recently, a newspaper article mourned the total appearance of the common house sparrow. This was a comment on the city's perceptible move towards edging out the flora and the fauna of the city. In the rapid urbanization, the multi-storied apartments grew and large-scale felling of the trees became necessary. Last week, however, several pairs of these sparrows were spotted in a suburb. Possibly the greenery of this place had created a new habitat for these birds, which like their proximity to human beings and have made a comeback. A systematic development of trees and shrubs all over the city could woo the absent house sparrow to our midst. Question number 15. In the passage, the term urbanization has been used to refer to options: the destruction of greenery in the city, the construction of concrete structures on a large scale, a change over from rural life to city life, the movement of people from villages to cities. 16. The phrase absent house sparrow refers to the sparrow that makes infrequent visits, the sparrow that has forgotten his habitats, the sparrow that has gone away from the urban areas, the sparrow that has become extinct. Question number 17. According to the passage, the birds have made a comeback to the suburb because they have been hunted down by the village people. They love to be amidst human beings. They get food only where the human beings live. They have been deliberately brought back by the biologist. Questions 18 to 21. Choose the word which is nearest in meaning to the given word. Abdicate. Options are join, search, advance, renounce. Next, acrimony. Options are spleen, curtsy, oriented, scarce. Questions 20, embellish. Options are employ, arrange, decorate, design. 21, damn squib, insignificant happening, an old technique, unsuccessful attempt. Short, shrill, cry. Questions 22 to 25, choose the words which are nearly in opposite to the given word. Sporadic, options are rare, frequent, sharp, coordinated. 23, exonerate, options are reject, contract, accuse, admit. 24, exodus, options are homecoming, influx, restoration, and return. 25, relinquish, options are cede, abdicate, deny, possess. Questions 26 to 30, choose the word which explains the meaning of the following idioms. 26, all and sundry. Options, everyone, everyone without distinction, only rich people, together, selected people, to play. Okay, selected people. Next question is, '27, to play second fiddle. Options, to be happy, cheerful, and healthy, to be in a subordinate position to someone, to do backseat driving, to reduce the importance of one's seniors. 28, a wolf in sheep's clothing, a hypocrite, a wolf in woolen clothes, a coward, a proud man. 29, a blue stocking, a stocking which is blue in color, a clean cheat, an unreliable person, a woman having literally taste and learning. 30, a yeoman's service, lip service, to serve like a slave, to play godfather, efficient or useful help. Okay, so you've got 30 questions in this question paper, and the key will be displayed here. Have a quick look at the key and the explanations which follow. So please correct 30 questions, and the explanations are given below. If there is any doubt, you can make use of the chat box. Now moving on to the next set of questions. Next question paper, 2015. Here also we have the verbal ability questions at the beginning of the question paper. So the first question, that is question 1 to 4, which word or words explains the meaning of the following idioms? A fool's errand. Options, a blunder, an impossible task, a useless undertaking, none of these. 22nd question, to flog a dead horse, to act in a foolish way, to waste one's effort, to revive into rest in an old subject, to revive old memories. Question 3, the alpha and the omega. Options, the beginning and the end, a nice act, the start and the moons, very costly. Question 4, a bull in a china shop. Options, a person who is very ugly but loves the beautiful things of life, a person who takes a sadistic delight in harming innocent people, a person who becomes too excited when there is no excitement warranted, a rough and a clumsy person at a place where skill and care is required. Questions 5 to 8, choose the word that best defines the given phrase. To hold something in leash. Question number 5, options are to restrain, to disappoint, to dismiss, to discourage. Question 6, to speak through one's hat. Options, to speak fluently, to talk nonsense, to talk wisdom, to speak at random. 7, to throw up the sponge. Options, to surrender, to give up a contest, to offer a challenge, to become utterly disappointed, to maintain grit and enthusiasm till the end. Questions 8, to get into hot waters, to be impatient, to suffer a huge, large financial loss, to get into trouble, to be in a confused state of mind. Questions 9 to 13, choose the correctly spelled word. Delirious, 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 delirious. Delirious. Question 10th question, conduit. 11, gregarious, gregarious. 12, intrinsic. 3, sepulchre. Now moving on to the reading passage. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions given below. Patience is better than wisdom. An ounce of patience is worth a pound of brains. All men praise patience, but few can practice it. It's a medicine which is good for all diseases, but it's not every garden that grows the herbs to make with it. Many people are born crying, live complaining, and die disappointed. They think that every other person's burden is to be light and their own feathers to be as heavy as lead. And yet, if the truth were known, it is their fancy rather than their fate that make things go so hard with them. Many would be well off, much better than what they think of. Question number 14. Which of the following is the most suitable explanation to the author's remark that an ounce of patience is worth a pound of brains? Options. Wisdom can be attained by practicing patience. Patience comes first, wisdom next. Patience is essential for every achievement. Without patience, wisdom cannot be used in like property. Question 15. Which one is most likely explanation among the following? Of the author's metaphorical statement, it is not of every garden that grows the herbs to make it with. Options. Patience is a must for solving all our problems in life. Patience is a rare herb that cures all diseases. Patience is a virtue of highest order. It's only a small number of people that found observing patience in life. Question number 16. The writer's remarks, they think every person's burden to be light and their own feather to be as heavy as lead, is very significant. It means they're always worried and dejected. They consider their own problems to be difficult to solve when compared to the problems of others. They feel that they face problems alone while others are having a nice time. They remain very much worried about their own problems. That's question number 16. Now questions 17 to 20. Choose the word which is nearest in meaning to the given word. Anthema, anathema. Options are religious chant, pun, musical subject, curse. Debilitate. Options are weakened, attack, surmount, destroy. 19, penchant. Options are liking, eagerness, disability, keenness. 20, nebulous. Options are tiny, vague, insignificant, inadequate. Questions 21 to 24. Choose the word which is nearly opposite in meaning to the given word. 21, insolent. The options given are certain, affable, determined, and rich. 22, skeptic. Options are cryptic, believer, support, and eminent. 24, refractory. Options are refreshing, burdensome, privileged, and manageable. 24, acrimonious. Options are legal, severe, cursive, and harmonious. Now coming to questions 25 to 30, select the most appropriate word from the options given against each number. Life is an enchanting, exciting, and charming, enhancing series of challenges and opportunities to be seized. You have to plan for exercising the right career options. And 26, catching, offsetting, grabbing, conceiving the right opportunities. Planned. 27, delay, hindrance, application, execution rather than a hasty decision is 28, desirable, deciphered, inevitable, acceptable as far as your career is concerned. You need to dash, check, classify, divide, analyze. Occupational groups. Question number 30, specifications, limitations, qualifications, identifications, and type of organizations are suitable for you. Okay, so those are the 30 questions in this question paper, and let's move on to the answer key. So here you have the 30 answer keys and the explanations for each given in very simple terms. Have a quick look at it. You'll be given 1 minute time for that, and then we'll proceed and discuss the other question papers. I hope these questions have been answered, the answer key. Now let's move on to the next set of questions. 2015 question paper. Which word or word explains the meaning of the following idioms in a jiffy? Options are outstanding, suddenly, in effects, appropriate. Up to the hilt. Options are completely, up to the mark, up to the final decision, none of these. Men of letters. Options are who writes too many letters, an important person, a politician, a literary person. 4, Sankroad. Options are composure, go and leave, change suddenly. Next, questions 5 to 10. Select the most appropriate word from the options against each number. As home entertainment, television is rapidly becoming more 5, interesting, popular, powerful, purposeful from any other form. Any news broadcast becomes more immediate when people dash. 6, could, would, might, shall actually see the scene. Question number 7, of, with, as, in, question, and the movement of the figures. Films could be viewed in the 8 surroundings, assistance, comfort, privilege of the home, and a variety of shows are also available. One of the advantages of travel programs is the glimpses, images, portrait picture of faraway places which many viewers could not see. Would not possible, rather, else, otherwise see. Now questions 11 to 14. Choose the word which is nearest in meaning to the given word. Question 11, sporadic. Options are epidemic, whirling, occasional, stagnant. Question 12, genesis. Options are style, beginning, movement, relevant. Question 13, intransigent. Options are authoritative, impersonal, strenuous, and bending. Question number 14, intimidate. Options are mislead, misplace, frighten, demoralize. Questions 15 to 18. Choose a word which is nearly opposite in meaning of the given word. Questions 15, clemency. Options are corporal, intolerance, compromise, sensibility. Question 16, cajole. Options are nestle, succeed, bully, and moisten. Question 17, malevolent. Options are kindly, vacuous, ambivalent, and primitive. Question 18, purgatory. Options are reward, celestial, flawless, proximity. Questions 19 to 21. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions given below. In spring, polar mother bears emerge from dens with 3-month-old cub. The mother bear has fasted for as long as 8 months, but does not stop the young one from demanding full access to her remaining reserves. If there are triplets, the most persistent stand to gain a little extra meal at the expense of others. The smallest of the cubs feeds many means to stronger siblings. Females are protective of their cubs, but tend to ignore family rivalry over food. In 21 years of photographing polar bears, I have only once seen the smallest of triplets survive till autumn. With reference to the passage, the following assumptions have been made. 1. Polar bears fast as long as 8 months due to non-availability of prey. 2. Polar bears always give birth to triplets. Which of the assumptions given below are true? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Question 20. Female polar bear give birth during spring, summer, autumn, winter. 21. Mother bear takes sides over cubs, lets the cub fend for themselves, feed only their favorites, see that all cubs get an equal share. Questions 22 to 25. Choose the word that best defines the given phrase. A curtain lecture. Options: to speak plainly, vulgar ideas, private scolding of a husband by his wife, hate others. 23. Square pegs in round holes. Options: a genuinely helpful person, a clever person, people in the wrong jobs, to be perplexed. By the way, perplexed means to be worried. 24. In weal and woe. Options: by hook or crook, during illness, in prosperity and adversity, during the operation. 25. Globetrotters. Options: people against global philosophy, people indulging in treachery, intelligent minds, travelers around the world. Now you have 4 words where you are asked to correct the spelling. Connoisseur, 26, 27, munificent, 28, equanimity, 29, veterinarian. Questions 30. Okay, so there are 30 questions, 29 questions. Now we'll move on to the answer key and please check it through. So you have the answer key as well as the explanation displayed on the screen. Please make sure that you're correcting it in 1 minute time. Now moving on to the next question paper, 2014 question paper. Select the most appropriate word from the options given. Science has made an excessive, enormous, intensive, active contribution to the relief of human suffering and humanity. Feels, offers, owes, acknowledges a deep amount, fund, loan, debt of gratitude to scientists whose labors, discoveries, achievements, successes, and sacrifices have led to many strange, useful, advantageous, profitable discoveries and inventions, which has done so much to decrease, disappear, alleviate, belittle human pain and misery. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions given below. Questions 7 to 9. Rhetoric, language is often used for one of the following three purposes, namely to inform, to convince, and to persuade. The first, requiring the talent of telling what we know, is a matter of little difficulty. The second demands reasoning. The third, beside reasoning, demands all the aid that we can obtain from the use of figures of speech or figures of rhetoric, which means the power of persuasion. Rhetoric is options: art of reasoning, use of figures of speech, power of the persuasion, means of communicating information. Question number 8, the art of persuasion requires the use of options: information and talent fields, reasoning and information, figure of speech, reasoning and figure of speech. The above passage is options: informative, persuasive, convincing, rhetorical. Moving on to questions 10 to 13, choose the word which is nearest in meaning to the given word. Question number 10, liberalize. Options are resist, change, function, malfunction. 11, pragmatic. Options are theoretical, suitable, realistic, productive. 12, pristine. Options are fresh, old, preserved, dirty. 13, intrepid. Options are middle, tolerant, rude, and fearless. Questions 14 to 17, choose the word which is nearly opposite in meaning to the given word. Questions 14, angelic, magnanimous, benevolent, diabolic, and critical. 15, haughtiness, affability, unskilled, abuse, and abject. 16, below, tout, whisper, stupor, and down. Question number 17, iniquity. Options are low, illegal, slander, and libel. Questions 18 to 21, choose the word that best defines the given phrase. Question 18, tickle pink. Options are greatly pleased, colored, deeply upset, and embarrassed. 19, split one side. Options are intense pain, to laugh a lot, to be hurt, and none of the above. 20, building castles in the air. Options are making impossible plans, making out tall promises, building skyscrapers, structures without strong functions. Then we have 21, at the drop of a hat, willingly and softly, willingly and immediately, willingly and silently, slowly and silently. Questions 22 to 25, choose the correctly spelled word. And the words, question number 22 is parenthesis, 23, versatile, 24, hemorrhage, and 25, veterinarian. So you have to choose the correct spelled word. Moving on to question 26 to 29. Which word or words explain the meaning of the following idioms? Airy-fairy. Options are most important, nervous, not practical, confident. 27, be given the axe. Options are to move fast, carpenter, woodcutter, to lose job. 28, to go like bomb. Options are loud explosion, to move fast, terrorism, not practical. 29, bolt from the blue. Options are unexpected, lighting, nervous, and sudden. Questions 30 to 65. Okay, sorry. So you've got 30 questions, and let's move on to the answer key. So 2014, the answer key is given there. We have 30 questions, and 30 questions are, first correct the key. You'll be given 1 minute time for that, and just go through the explanations given. And please make sure that you're doing the completion in 1 minute's time. Okay, now moving on to the next set of questions. (2014) question paper of CAT 1. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions given below. Then Gandhiji came. He was like a powerful current of fresh air that makes us stretch ourselves and take deep breaths, like a beam of light that pierces the darkness and removes the scales from our eyes, like a whirlwind that upsets many things, but most of it working of the people's mind. He did not descend from the top. He seemed to emerge from the millions of Indians, speaking their language and incessantly drawing attention to them and their appalling situation. Get off the backs of these peasants and workers, he told us, all of you who live by their exploitation, get rid of the system that produces this poverty and misery. So question 1, Gandhiji came like a powerful current of fresh air and options are awakened us to the plight of the masses in the grip of the oppressors, made us patriotic, emboldened us to attack and destroy the oppressors, praised our culture. Question number 2, the rise of Gandhiji. Options are shock people, made India powerful, made the condemnation of the exploiter final, made women feel secure. Question number 3, Gandhiji fought the options rich, oppressed, apathetic masses and unjust system. Question number 4, the conspicuous role of Gandhiji is that of a father, reformer, teacher, liberator. Moving on to questions 5 to 10, select the most appropriate word from the options against each number. Those living in the slums are poor, sick, hardy, weak, and tough because they totally independent, exposed, tried to the vagaries and the hardships of life. The rising sun, the rising sun, herald, brings. The day and the setting sun closes the day for them. It's like a drama where the curtain hangs, hand goes, shine up in the morning and comes down in the evening. They don't know, get, think, have hypertension and heart attacks because there is, after all, everything, something, somewhere, nothing to worry about. Now moving on to questions 11 to 12, choose the word which is nearest in meaning to the given word. First 11, transgressor. Options given are passenger, lawbreaker, protector, comrade. Questions number 12, egregious. Options are common, social, plain, atrocious. Questions 13 to 15, choose the word which is nearly opposite in meaning to the given word. 13, predilection. Options are oblivion, objectivity, aversion, defeat. Question 14, cacophonous. Options are tamed, harmonious, domestic, silent. Question 15, calumny. Options are apology, eulogy, enjoyment, reservation. So question 16 to 20, choose the word that best defines the given phrase. 16, able to use both hands like dexterous, ambidextrous, skillful, expert. 17, a written account of the life of an individual is an autobiography, epigraph, biography, novel. 18, the identification of a disease by its symptom is prescription, prognosis, diagnosis, biopsy. 19, prolonged inability to sleep is amnesia, utopia, nausea, insomnia. Questions? Somehow or other, one question has been missed, but the options are given there. That's fine. We'll move on to the next set of questions. That is question 20 is not visible in the question paper. Let's move on to question 21. Choose the correctly spelled word. The school alumni gathering put us in a dash mode. Reminiscent. Okay, you have to check the correct spelling of the word reminiscent. Question 22. God is dead is a blasphemous statement. Check the correct spelling of blasphemous. The threat of an epidemic caused great alarm and trepidation. Get the correct spelling. The din caused by the children howling is enough to resurrect the dead. Can you maneuver the car into the parking spot? Okay. Choose 26 to 47. is not our set of questions. So we have 25 questions in this question paper, and let's move on to the answer key. So please correct 25 questions, and the explanation of those questions are given there. Now moving on to the next set of questions. 2013. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions given below. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and the oceans. We shall fight with a growing confidence and strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and the street. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. And even if this island or a large part of it was subdued and starving, then our empire beyond the seas would carry on a struggle until the new world steps forth to the rescue and the liberation of the old. Question number 1. On the basis of the passage, which of the following statements may be said to be correct? The speaker is encouraging his men for the conquest of France. The speaker is an aggressive and maniac warmonger. The speaker is not satisfied with the conquest of the island. The speaker is a patriot urging the defense of his motherland. Question number 2. The speaker of the passage wants to go on fighting because he's a raving lunatic. He's in a state of utter despair. He expects help from the other quarters. He's the leader of a suicidal squad. Which of the following pair of phrases helps best to bring out the intention of the speaker? Go on to the end, shall never surrender, growing confidence, subjugated and starving, fighting and landing around, fighting in the street, subjugated and starving. The passage consists of repetitions, patterns in syntax and vocabulary. The effect of the style is that it reveals the speaker's defect in giving a speech, produces the impression of bad poetry, conveys the speaker's helpless situation, reinforces the speaker's basic intention. Question number 5. The tone of the speaker is pleading and urging, inspiring and encouraging, discouraging and gloomy, menacing and bullying. Question 6 to 8. In each of the following, choose the word which is most similar to the meaning of the word given in capitals. Meddle. Options are disregard, overlook, interfere, free. Question number 7. Abjure is renounce, run off secretly, abide, discuss. Estrange, endanger, to become puzzling, miscalculate, alienate. Questions 9 and 10. In each of the following, choose the words most nearly in opposite to meaning given in capitals. Derogatory is conferred, immediate, praising, private. Wane is widen, poor, swell, tight. Each of the following questions, find out the part of the sentence which has got an error. Question number 11. The police has arrested the thief who broke into my house last night. Question number 12. The man who they thought to be a gentleman turned out to be a rogue. 13. I told him on his face that he could not hope to pass the stringent medical examination of the service selection board. 14. Mohan is one of those boys who has expressed willingness for joining the education tour. 15. I may spend the summer vacation with one of my friends in the backwaters of Kerala. Questions 16 to 20. Pick up the most effective word from the given words to fill in the blanks to make the sentence meaningfully complete. Question number 16. According to the weather, dash, it is going to be cloudy today. Announcement, indication, prediction, forecast. The villagers dashed the murder of their leader by burning the police van. The villagers protested, avenged, mourned, consoled. While on the routine fights, the aircraft was hit by a missile and fired, burst, caught, and gulped into flames. Question number 19. Harry got the company car for a reduced price discounted price, fixed price, nominal price, as he was the senior most employee in the company. Question number 20, the unruly behavior of the soldiers clashed, aggravated, incensed, impeached their commander. Questions. Okay, so you have 20 questions from this question paper, and the answer key will be displayed. You'll be given 1 minute time. Have a quick glance at the question paper. First 20 questions. Explanations are also given on the page. I hope that's done. Now let's move on to the next set of questions. 2012 question paper. Read the following passage carefully and answer the following questions. Pablo Picasso showed his truly exceptional talent from a very young age. His first word was lápiz, Spanish for pencil, and he learned to draw before he could talk. He was the only son in the family and very good looking, so he was thoroughly spoiled. He hated school and often refused to go unless his doting parents allowed him to take one of his father's pet pigeons with him. Apart from pigeons, his great love was art, and when in 1891, his father, who was an amateur artist, got a job as a drawing teacher at college, Pablo went with him to the college. He often watched his father paint and sometimes was allowed to help. One evening, his father was painting a picture of their pigeons when he had to leave the room. He returned to find that Pablo had completed the picture, and it was so amazingly beautiful and lifelike that he gave his son his own palette and brushes and never painted again. Pablo was just 13 years of age. Moving on to the questions. Question number 1. As a boy, Pablo Picasso was options: ordinary looking but talented, handsome and studious, handsome and hardworking. Question number 2. He was spoiled mostly because he was options: a smart boy, loved by all and one, the only son in the family, always surrounded by notorious boys. Question 3. Picasso went to a school only when options: his friend accompanied him, his father went with him, he was allowed to paint at school, he was allowed to carry a pet with him. Question 4. When his father painted in the college, Pablo occasionally helped him, rarely helped him, always helped him, invariably helped him. Question number 5. Pablo's father gave up painting because he did not like the job. He retired from the college, was impressed by his son's talent, lost interest in painting. Question 6 to 8. In each of the following questions, find out the part which has got an error. The boss was irritating by him by neglecting the duties, not listening to his advice. Each of the 3 beggars were asking for more food to eat. My brother sent 2 pairs of shoes from America. Question number 9, the young man said that he neither liked me nor my wife. Question number 10, he was congratulated for his success in the 100-meter race. Questions 11 to 15, pick up the most effective word from the given words to fill in the blanks to make the sentence completely meaningful. Question number 11, Sanjay was dashed with divine, was demure, authorized, endowed, uttered with divine vision to see the great battle. Question number 12, there was so much variegated, superficial, extraneous, exemplary material in the essay that it was difficult to get the author's message. The world is so construed that if you wish to enjoy its pleasures, you must also deny, neglect, ignore, endure its pain. The Indian press did not give credence, scion, augury, opportunity to the British publicity. Travelers has better to get, had better to get, had to get better, had better got their reservations well in advance if they wanted to travel during the Diwali holidays. Question 16 to 18. In each of the following, choose the word most similar in meaning to the word given in capitals. Emancipate. Options are set free, correct morally, excess, restrain. Question 17, deceit. Options are simplicity, gentility, sincerity, dishonesty. Questions 18, admonition. Options are thrash, hindrance, warning, exhort. Now moving on to questions 19 to 20. In each of the following, choose the word which is almost nearly opposite in meaning to the word given in capitals. Vociferous options are laudable, quiet, dangerous, powerful, and implicate options are involve, exonerate, correct, and accuse. So 20 questions in this question paper, and let's see what the key is telling us. So you have the answer key here. Please go through the first 20 questions. And if there is any doubt, you can share it in the chat box. 1 minute time. Now moving on to the next set of questions. 2012. The development and widespread use of computer technology and the internet have transformed how we communicate, how business is conducted, how information is dispersed, how society is organized. Prior to 1980, in-depth information about any one subject matter was attained to laborious research involving countless visits to libraries and via repeated interviews with people of known reputation and reputable expertise. Now, a great deal of information is available at the click of a mouse, but all attainable from within the confines of one's own home or from the use of a computer in office. Previous labor-intensive support jobs such as loading and unpacking of trucks, luggage handling at airports, and food manufacturing, once performed by a large middle-class workforce, are now performed routinely by robots which are monitored by computer control system. Our lives have been simplified, but these benefits have been ushered in by the technological revolution, which has had an adverse effect to the core of our interpersonal relationship. Mere communication is not longer possible via postal mail or face-to-face contact, but rather via electronic mail, personal internet message boardings, and by virtue of handheld personal electronic assistance. Although computer technology has brought us within a mouse click of any sort of piece of information, this technology boom has sequestered us to the confines of a computer desk and homes and has removed us away from the traditional settings where personal and communication skills were developed. Question number 1, the author's attitude as the advent of computer technology can be best summarized as options: optimistic and thankful, appreciative, reserved, candid and reverent, understanding and obsessive. Question number 2, the author would agree with which of the following statements? Advent of computer technology has decreased access to libraries. Because of advancement in robotics, labor-intensive jobs are more plentiful. Although heralded as a great leap forward, the widespread use of computer technology is not without its setbacks. If all the benefits are assured in by the use of the internet, electronic email is the most beneficial. The author's primary purpose in writing this passage is most likely to download the need for the internet, to explain how robotics and the internet have both a positive and a negative influence on how we live, to pave way for the next great technological revolution, to showcase the wonders of the recent technological advancement. In each of the following, questions 4 to 6, choose the word most similar in meaning to the words given in capitals. Osmosis, gradual acceptance, slow recovery, abrupt ending, strength. Ostracize, take away, cut off, include, expedite. Alacrity, hesitatingly, eagerness, unwilling, laziness. Questions 7 to 10, in each of the following, choose a word which is almost opposite in meaning to the word given in capital. Profusion. Options are travesty, validity, scarcity, agitated. Eschew, vicious, invite, use, and emanate. Abstain. Question number 9, refuse, oppose, run away, permit. Question 10, insolent, affable, sported, foolish, mature. In each of the following questions, find the part which has got an error. If you will follow my instructions, you will get a suitable reward for this. Harshad, along with his brother, Ashwani, and 6 senior officers were arrested. He received timely support from his elder brother, who is working abroad for the last 6 years. One of the drawbacks of the modern educators are it does not encourage original thinking. Morphine or other narcotic drugs are valuable medically if misused, and it can cause irreparable damage. Question 16 to 20, pick out the most effective word from the given words to fill in the blanks to make the sentence meaningfully complete. Question number 16. His book was marked by many dash remarks, which has made us forget its main theme. Irrelevant, objective, slanted, digressive. Question number 17. Some people have the capacity for learning foreign languages, but they have no dash to speak. Interest, ability, fondness, inclination. Question number 18. The dispute among the parties became so dash that there was every likelihood of a free exchange of blows. Complicated, acrimonious, bellicose, and aggressive. Question number 19. The judge decided to resign when he was dashed for promotion to the Chief Justice. Passed by, passed over, passed off, and passed over. Question number 20. Questions will be answered by a dash of expert, staff, panel, bunch, and bat. So there are 20 questions from this question paper, and the key will be displayed on the screen. Please correct it in haste. There will be not 1 minute, less than 1 minute time for the questions. You've got the answer key, plus the questions. Have a quick look at it, and if there's any doubt, you may use the chat box. Moving on to the next set of questions. 2011. We stand poised precariously and challenging on the razor edge of destiny. We are now at the mercy of atom bombs, and like which would destroy us completely, we fail to control them wisely. And the wisdom in this crisis means sensitiveness to the basic values of life. It means a vivid realization that we are literally living in a world where we must either swim together or sink together. We cannot afford to tamper with man's single-minded loyalty to peace and international understanding. Anyone who does it is only a traitor, not only to man's past and present, but also to his future, for he's mortgaging the destiny of unborn generations. From the tone and the style of the passage, it appears that the writer is options A prose writer with a fascination for images and metaphors, B, a humanist with a clear foresight, a traitor who wishes to mortgage the destiny of future and generations, unaware of the global power situation. Question number 2. The best way to escape complete annihilation in an atomic war is to options: work for international understanding and harmony, invent more powerful weapons, turn to religion, ban nuclear weapons. The phrase, question number 3, razor edge of destiny means an enigma that cuts through the pattern of life like the edge of a razor, critical situation that foreordains the future, sharp line of division that marks the alternative courses of action in the future, destiny with sharp edges. Question number 4, according to the writer, wisdom on the razor edge of destiny means awareness that we stand poised precariously on the razor's edge of destiny, determination to ban nuclear weapons, responsibility to the unborn generations, the awareness of the basic values of life. Question number 5. The author is concerned about the threat of nuclear weapons because he feels that a nuclear war will destroy the human civilization. All nations, all countries are interlinked and cannot escape the consequence of what happens to another country. The world is on the brink of a disaster. His country is threatened by a nuclear war. Now it's error correction, and each of the following questions, there is a part which has got an error. If not, you have to mark it as no error. Question 6 to 10. Question number 6. A person I met in the theater was the playwright himself. Question number 7. They walked beside each other in silence. No error. Question number 8. We returned to the guest house impressed by what we had seen. Question number 9. The judge was convinced that neither of the 5 accused was guilty. Question number 10. The municipality is going to build a new school near the park. Questions 11 to 15. Pick out the most effective word from the given words to fill in the blanks to make the sentence meaningfully complete. Question 11. His action had affected, imposed, inflicted, deplored pain and suffering on thousands of people. Question number 12. The government will collect, exploit, harness, muster all resources to fight poverty. Question number 13. The children burst, fired, shot, released crackers to celebrate the victory of the team. I am seeing, looking, planning, thinking forward to our picnic scheduled in the next month. I hope you must have known, felt, decided, realized by now that the failures are stepping stones to success. Question 16 to 18. In each of the word most similar in meaning to the word given in brackets have to be chosen. Cost. Brought about, brought forth, brought out, brought over. placid, plain, clear, poor, calm. Audacious, options are obvious, daring, ardent, affluent. Questions 19 to 21. Pick out the word that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the word given in capitals. Monologue, options are prologue, epilogue, dialogue, catalogue. Question number 20, delete, options are imbibe, improve, insert, inspire. Question number 21, ambiguity, options are certainty, clarity, rationality, and laxity. The other questions are from other subjects. So then we move on to the next key. So you have 21 questions and the key displayed on the screen. Have a quick correction, and if there's any doubt, we can discuss it in the forthcoming classes. Moving on to the next set of questions. Question number 1, have a quick reading of the passage. Question number 1, what is the main thrust of the author? Options, traditional system should be strengthened. Formal education is more important than non-formal. One should never cease to learn. It's impossible to meet the needs of everyone. 2, what are the main characteristics of the future education system? Options, different modules with the same function, same module for different groups, no modules but standard or compulsory program for all, none of the above. According to the author, what measures should open universities adopt to meet modern conditions? Develop various programs for adult learners, open more universities in traditional lines, cater to the needs of those who represent count. Primary education should be under the control of open universities. In the context of the passage, what is the meaning of the sentence? The writing is already on the wall. Everything is uncertain. Changes have already taken place. The signs of change are already visible. You cannot change the future. Questions 5 to 9 are finding the errors in the sentence. And question 5, it was a year since I received any letter from my sister. Question 6, his family members may arrive any moment by car. 7, he went to office but returned back home immediately. 8, the two brothers amicably divided their parents' properties among themselves. 9, to attain a high academic standard in his college, Sunil worked hard since morning till night. Questions 10 to 14, pick out the most effective word from the given words to fill in the blanks to make this sentence meaningfully complete. Question 10, Mohini is an independent and innovative thinker. It's best to grant her a good deal of leverance, interest, assistance, money with regard to the direction of her research. Question 11, the presence, absence, amount, color of meat in your refrigerator does not necessarily indicate that you're a vegetarian. Due to the rise of the new media technology, many people predict newspapers will soon be obsolete, ubiquitous, commonplace, widespread. Question number 13, attention to detail is the hallmark, stamp, authenticity, and show of a fine craftsmanship. Although the two sisters are twins, they look somewhat alike, unique, different, related. Questions 15 to 17, in each of the following, choose the word most similar in meaning to the word given in capitals. Venerate, reject, remove, love, respect. Vacillate, waver, disintegrate, relegate, salute. Felicity, zeal, excitement, happiness, expertise. Questions 18 to 20, pick out the word that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the word given in capitals. Hysteria, disease, ceremony, serenity, frenzy. Abstain, indulge, dismiss, repel, acquire. Sedentary, inactive, sluggish, moving, settled. So we're moving on to the answer keys. We've got the answer key and the explanations given here. The first 20 questions are the answers for the verbal ability part. Have a quick look at it. First 20 questions, you're given 1 minute time to go through the answers. And in case you have any doubt, you're free to contact and call us. So it's almost time to come to the end of the session. And thank you so much for your patient listening and understanding. If there is any doubt left, show no hesitation and share your queries on the chat box. Thank you so much for your patient listening, and we'll meet you in the next class. Thank you so much.